What if I told you your entire life is shaped by the words you speak? Every blessing, every delay, every open door, every closed gate, not by accident, not by fate, but by the silent decree of your own mouth. The tongue is not a small thing, it is the most underestimated instrument of power in the universe. Scripture calls it both a rudder and a fire, able to direct ships and ignite forests. Florence Scovel Shinn called it the very brush with which you paint the canvas of your destiny. And today, I am here to remind you that your mouth is not just for speaking, it is for commanding. Pause and let this truth settle. The words that pass your lips are not harmless sound, they are laws sent forth into the invisible. Every idle word is a seed planted in the garden of your reality. You may not see the seed at first, you may forget what you even spoke, but the soil of life does not forget, the subconscious mind does not forget, the divine does not forget. Every word waits, and in its own season, it bears fruit. Now look back for a moment. How many times have you cursed your own path without realizing it? How many times have you said, I can't afford it, I'm always unlucky, things never work out for me? Each time, a seed was dropped into the ground, and the law, unbending and impartial, simply answered, so it shall be. But here is the awakening moment. If your words once had the power to limit you, they also have the power to free you. The same tongue that created chains can command release. The same mouth that declared lack can summon abundance. You carry within you a sacred key, a golden instrument, and it has been waiting for you to pick it up consciously and play it with intention. Right now, place your hand over your mouth. Feel the warmth, feel the breath. This is not just flesh, this is the divine gate of decree. Through this passage, heaven and earth bend to your command. Through this opening, your soul writes its contract with destiny. Listen, the universe is not moved by wishing, by hoping, by silent desperation. It is moved by the decree of the spoken word. Let there be light, was not thought, it was spoken. Creation responds to command, the invisible bows to the tongue that knows its power. But here is where most falter. They speak unconsciously. They use their tongue as a casual toy instead of a sacred tool. They joke about failure, they gossip about lack, they reinforce fears by repeating them aloud, and then they wonder why life mirrors their words. Beloved soul, you cannot plant thorns and expect roses. You cannot water weeds and expect a vineyard. Your speech is the water, your tongue is the planter, and every time you open your mouth, you are either commanding a kingdom or constructing a prison. So I invite you into your first act of power. Speak this with me now, not in a whisper, not half-hearted, but as if heaven itself waits for your command. I now align my mouth with the language of power, truth, and abundance. I plant only seeds of life, and I decree only words of light. My tongue is a sacred key, and I use it to unlock divine doors. Feel it. See golden light flowing from your lips. Watch as your words take shape, becoming living substance. Imagine them flying into the atmosphere, forming structures, arranging circumstances, commanding opportunities. This is not fantasy. This is law. The law of the tongue is exact. Speak of fear, and fear multiplies. Speak of lack, and lack cements itself. But when you speak of faith, faith expands. When you decree abundance, abundance rushes forth. The word is the switch that turns on the hidden machinery of heaven. And this is why your awakening today matters. You are no longer permitted to treat your speech casually. The age of idle words is over. Every sound you release is either a command of bondage or a decree of freedom. Choose wisely. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious mind is like a dark room. Whatever picture the tongue declares is projected on its walls. Say often, I am divinely provided for. Money comes to me in perfect ways. Doors open for me by right of divine selection. Each time, the image becomes clearer, stronger, radiant with life, until the outer world must conform. So I ask you, what do you want your tongue to command today? Will you allow it to echo yesterday's fear? Or will you let it sing tomorrow's freedom? Will you use it to scatter weeds of complaint? Or will you let it plant orchards of abundance? The choice has always been yours. Do not wait for the perfect mood. Do not wait for evidence. Words create the evidence. Declare it first, and life rearranges. Speak boldly now, and the unseen law moves. This is the awakening of the tongue, the realization that every moment you open your mouth, you either create or destroy, you bless or you curse, you command or you surrender. And today, you choose command. Speak again with me, this time as a vow to yourself. I guard my tongue as a sacred gate. I speak only that which uplifts, commands, and aligns with the divine. My words are life. My words are law. My words create my breakthrough. Feel the shift. Your tongue is no longer ordinary. It is the golden key in your hand. And as you step into the next part of this journey, remember this: your breakthrough begins not when the world changes, but when your words change. The invisible law of spoken creation. What if I told you that every word you have ever spoken still lives in the unseen, echoing across the chambers of your destiny, shaping walls you walk within today? What if I told you that your tongue has been building quietly, like an unseen architect, drafting blueprints that your life now obeys? This is the invisible law of spoken creation. Words are not casual. They are not mere sounds that vanish in the air. Each word is a decree. Each word is a seed. Each word is an order given to the subconscious mind and to the spirit that governs all. Florence Scovel Shinn declared that the spoken word is the strongest form of command. Thought is powerful. Intention is powerful. But the spoken word carries the vibration that enters the deep soil of the subconscious and calls spirit into action. Your mouth is the divine pen that writes upon the fabric of the invisible. When you speak, you are not only describing your life, you are authoring it. Picture your words as sacred tools in the hand of a master builder. Imagine a golden architect's compass in your mouth, every syllable drawing unseen lines, every phrase forming a blueprint. The unseen listens, the invisible obeys. The design you sketch with your tongue becomes the reality you inhabit. Here lies the truth few dare to face. Your life today is not an accident. It is a construction site built with yesterday's words. You spoke unconsciously, and walls of limitation rose around you. You declared fears, and cages formed. You repeated complaints, and ceilings lowered. The mouth in fear builds prisons, but the mouth in faith builds palaces. Think of it: when you say, "I never have enough," the universe hears an order and builds scarcity around you. When you whisper, "Nothing ever works out for me," you etch blueprints of failure into the foundation of your days. Yet when you declare, "I walk in divine supply," the invisible craftsmen begin laying stones of abundance at your feet. When you say, "I am always guided to my good," doors that were locked begin to swing open. This is not superstition. It is law, invisible, impartial, exact, like gravity. It does not rest. It does not excuse. It simply obeys. Every idle word, every casual phrase, every repeated declaration constructs. The question is not whether your words are building. The question is, what are they building? Here is where your healing begins. Become aware of your language. Listen as if for the first time. Journal the phrases that leave your mouth each day. Write them as though you are reviewing the blueprints of your destiny. Do you see walls of fear or bridges of faith? Do you see ceilings of doubt or towers of vision? Your daily vocabulary is the silent architect of your tomorrow. This is the sacred work, not to suppress your words, but to consecrate them, to anoint your tongue with intention, to release the language of lack and pick up the language of power. Let every statement become a decree that carries divine authority. Let your words rise like incense, fragrant with truth. Say now with me, every word I speak builds the divine structure of my good. Let it echo within you. Feel it as more than a sentence. Feel it as law. As you repeat it, imagine golden lines being drawn in the air, forming arches of opportunity, foundations of strength, and walls of unshakable peace. See yourself walking within a palace designed by your own sanctified speech. The invisible law of spoken creation is always at work. The choice rests in your mouth. You can speak defeat or declare victory. You can speak death or call forth life. You can curse your path or crown it with blessing. No one else has been given this key. It is yours alone. Now, the invitation is simple but profound. Begin to treat your words as commands. Each morning, speak into the day what you wish to experience. Each night, declare the peace that carries you into sleep. Transform idle chatter into sacred decree. Let your words become a divine orchestra, carrying notes of faith, abundance, and healing into the unseen. And remember this truth as we move forward: the invisible realm has no choice but to shape itself around the language you release. Your tongue is not casual, it is creative. The unseen waits for your decree. So the question is no longer whether the law works. The question is, what shall you command next? The battle between the old mouth and the new mouth, there is a silent battle raging inside every soul. A war between the voice you have trained through years of fear, complaint, and casual words and the voice that is waiting to rise, aligned with spirit, carrying the breath of faith. This is not a small matter. It is the difference between a life that circles in frustration and a life that opens into divine flow. The old mouth has built many prisons, but the new mouth can unlock every gate. Most people do not realize how deeply they are conditioned to speak against themselves. Words slip out like broken arrows, piercing their own future. I can't afford this. Nothing ever works out. I'm always unlucky. These are not casual statements. They are careless builders at work, stacking bricks of limitation until walls surround the soul. The old mouth speaks like this without pause, and the results show up in finances, relationships, health, and inner peace. But there is another voice within you, a voice that does not complain, does not shrink, does not speak defeat into existence. This is the new mouth, the mouth of spirit, the mouth of divine alignment. It speaks not from habit but from intention. It places each word like a master builder, places stone, knowing the structure will stand for generations. The question is not whether you have this voice. The question is, which builder have you allowed to use your mouth? Imagine two architects inside your being. One is careless, distracted, stacking whatever materials he finds nearby. He does not measure, he does not consider. He simply throws together structures that collapse under the first storm. This is the voice of doubt, fear, and gossip. It builds ruins. The other architect is wise. He does not rush. He studies the divine blueprint of your destiny. Every word he places is precise, strong, eternal. This is the voice of faith, the voice of divine knowing. It builds palaces. The mouth is the doorway. Both of them seek to use. One builds shackles, the other builds freedom. Which one will you hand your keys to? Your breakthrough does not depend on outside conditions as much as it depends on this choice. You can pray, hope, and wish, but if your words are still guided by the old mouth, you are constructing barriers against the very thing you are asking. 4. You cannot speak defeat and expect victory. You cannot rehearse lack and expect abundance. You cannot affirm sickness and expect health. The law of substitution makes this clear. What you do not want must be replaced, not ignored, not resisted, but substituted with its divine opposite. Think for a moment. When was the last time you spoke life into your finances? When was the last time you blessed your relationships with words of peace instead of complaint? When was the last time you spoke to your body with love instead of criticism? These questions are not to shame you, but to awaken you, for every careless word drains the soil of your future, and every faithful word plants a seed of harvest. The shift begins in awareness. You must listen to yourself as you would listen to a child you love. Notice the phrases you repeat. Catch the moments when the old mouth rises with its reflex of fear. Then, do not argue with it. Do not condemn it. Simply substitute. Replace. I can't afford this with my supply is infinite, and it meets me wherever I stand. Replace. I never get a chance with divine timing, is my ally, and the right doors swing open at the right hour. Replace. I'm always unlucky with goodness surrounds me, and favor finds me daily. This is not about forcing positive thinking, this is about aligning with spiritual law. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the tongue holds power to create or destroy, and that the subconscious accepts what the mouth repeats. The old mouth whispers chains, the new mouth declares freedom. Which one do you wish to strengthen? A practical tool for this battle is simple. Pause before speaking. Imagine your words as stones in your hand. Will you throw them recklessly, breaking windows of your own house? Or will you place them carefully, constructing the palace of your good? Each moment is a choice. Each phrase is a seed. Each declaration is an architect's line, drawn into the blueprint of the unseen. Take this as your exercise. For the next 3 days, listen to yourself. Write down the phrases you speak most often. Circle the ones that echo fear or limitation. Then, for each one, write its divine opposite. This is how the new mouth begins, to gain strength by consistent substitution, until the careless voice grows weaker, and the faithful voice takes command. You may feel resistance at first. The old mouth will argue. It will say, this is silly, nothing changes, but do not bow to its noise. Remember, the old mouth speaks from memory. The new mouth speaks from destiny. The old mouth builds on the ruins of the past. The new mouth builds on the foundation of divine promise. Choose carefully. Affirm this with me now. Not as a whisper but as a decree. My words are no longer careless bricks of fear. They are divine stones of faith. Feel the vibration of this truth settle into your being with each repetition. You are training the subconscious to build, not from rubble but from revelation. The battle between the old mouth and the new mouth is not fought once. It is a daily choosing, but each time you hand the tools to the wise builder, each time you place a stone of faith, you are advancing into the life Spirit has already prepared for you, and soon, you will stand within the palace. Your own words have constructed a dwelling of peace, provision, and power. The mouth is the key. Use it as heaven intended, and the very structure of your reality will shift. From this point forward, guard your words as sacred stones. The careless builder has had enough of your time. The wise builder waits, ready to shape your future with the sound of faith. And as you choose the new mouth, you align yourself with the law that always responds, the law that brings every spoken word into form. For the tongue, as a sacred gate, your tongue is not a casual instrument. It is not just muscle and sound. It is a sacred gate. A gate that stands between the invisible and the visible, between heaven's storehouse and earth's ground, between what has been promised and what will be received. Every word you release is like a keeper's decision at that gate. Some words open the doors wide, allowing streams of light, provision, and peace to pour in. Other words slam the gate shut, locking heaven's abundance behind bars of resistance. The ancients understood this mystery. They knew the mouth was never ordinary. The temple was not only stone and altar, it was speech. The altar was not only built of wood, it was the sound of one's declarations. When you speak, you minister. When you choose silence, you protect. And when you declare in alignment with Spirit, you open the silent gate of destiny itself. Think of your tongue as the gate of the temple. Every time you speak, you invite or dismiss. You admit life or you entertain death. You allow the divine orchestra of harmony to rise in your life, or you hand the baton to chaos. Your speech is not small. It is priesthood in action. Now, the law of non-resistance tells us that power does not come from fighting against appearances. The gate does not swing open by struggle. It opens by surrender, by agreement, by alignment. To resist nothing is not to be passive. It is to refuse to give your mouth to fear. It is to let go of the battle on your tongue, and instead speak the peace that already exists in the higher realm. Resistance sounds like, "This will never work. I always struggle. Nothing changes for me." Every one of these sentences tightens the lock on the gate. Every complaint adds another chain. But when you speak in faith, "This too is working for my good. I release struggle. I welcome ease. The right doors open before me now." The locks begin to fall away. The chains dissolve. The gate swings wide, not because you fought, but because you spoke alignment. Close your eyes now and imagine this. A golden gate, tall and radiant, standing before you. It glows with a living light, humming like a harp string. In the air, every time you speak words of fear, it creaks shut, heavy and immovable. But every time you speak words of faith, it opens wider, revealing a path bathed in divine radiance. Which gate will your tongue keep open? Which treasures will you allow to cross from the unseen to the seen? This is why I introduced to you the practice of sacred mouth-keeping. Guard your mouth as though it were a holy treasure. Watch your words as though you were entrusted with keys to a kingdom, because you are. If a guard stood at the temple, would he allow defiled offerings, careless chatter, or blasphemous words to pass the threshold? Never. And yet many of us let our own speech run unguarded, careless, releasing vibrations that choke the very blessings we seek. Sacred mouth-keeping is not silence, nor is it false positivity. It is reverence. It is asking before you speak, does this word open the gate, or does it close it? It is catching the sentence of complaint and substituting it with a declaration of faith. It is refusing to speak of lack while praying for provision. It is declaring healing while your body trembles. It is affirming love even when the echo of loneliness tries to rise. Your mouth is the front line of manifestation. Treat it as the holy gate it truly is. Speak to it as priest to altar, as guardian to threshold, as keeper to treasure. Say with me, my mouth is the sacred gate. I guard it with divine care. Now breathe into those words. Feel them take root. Let them reprogram the inner dialogue that has too often gone unchecked. No longer do careless phrases leave your lips unchallenged. No longer do you allow the old conditioning to rule unchecked. You have taken back the keys. In this holy awareness, the mouth becomes more than sound. It becomes a compass. It becomes a silent gate of destiny. It becomes the bridge where thought crosses into matter. And in every moment, you hold the choice to open or to close, to bless or to bind, to release or to resist as you move forward. Let your speech be a stream of divine alignment. Let it flow like water that refuses no stone, yet shapes the earth around it. This is the secret of the law of non-resistance applied to the tongue. You do not force, you do not fight, you simply speak truth until every wall dissolves. So the next time you feel the impulse to complain, pause, ask yourself, am I closing the gate or opening it? When you feel the weight of fear pressing against your lips, stop, ask yourself, does this word chain me or free me? When you rise in the morning, place your hand on your chest and whisper your vow of sacred mouth-keeping. Today, my mouth is not careless. Today, my tongue is the gate of heaven. Today, I will open only to life, because every word is seed, and every seed seeks soil, and what you plant today will grow tomorrow. Guard it well, and as we move deeper, you will see that the mouth is not only a gate, it is a sword, a builder, a healer. But first, it must be honored. First, it must be kept holy. The divine clock responds to your words. There is a clock that does not hang on any wall and does not rest on any table. It is the divine clock. Its hands are unseen. Yet it governs the unfolding of every answered prayer, every manifested vision, every whispered dream that waits in the corridors of time. This clock does not tick with seconds. It moves by words. Each word you speak sets a gear in motion. Each command you release oils the machinery of destiny. Your speech is the key that winds the eternal mechanism. Most live as if their words vanish into thin air. They complain, they doubt, they speak fear, as though their lips hold no power, but the divine clock is listening. It waits for the sound of your alignment when your words agree with truth. The gears engage when you declare lack. The gears stall when you command abundance. The hands move forward. When you insist on delay, the movement slows. Your mouth is the conductor's baton, and time itself adjusts to your rhythm. This is the mystery Florence Scovel Shinn understood. Spoken words are not empty. They are appointments with destiny, set into motion by your tongue. The universe does not measure by haste or human impatience. It measures by alignment. Every time you declare a truth in faith, you have wound the clock of heaven, and the result must appear in the perfect hour. Yet the mind, restless and impatient, often resists this law. It whispers, why has nothing happened yet? Where is my answer? But you must remember, just because you cannot see the gears turning, does not mean the clock is silent. The unseen is not the unreal. The invisible is not the inactive. Faith is the eye that perceives what the natural eye cannot. Think of the farmer who plants a seed in the soil. He does not return the next day to tear it open, demanding to see roots. He does not shout at the earth, why are you not growing? No, he trusts the law. He waters, he waits, he allows time to work its mystery. And in the invisible dark, roots deepen, stems strengthen, and at last, the harvest appears. So it is with your words. They are seeds sown into the soil of the divine clock. Their fruit is certain, but their appearance is appointed. Here is the great teaching, the law of non-resistance. Do not fight the timing. Do not argue with delay. Do not dig up your prayers with doubt. Instead, release your word and let it travel. Align your tongue with truth, and then step back in sacred trust. Resistance only jams the gears. Faith keeps them turning. You may be carrying the ache of waiting. You may feel the weight of prayers unanswered, doors unopened, visions unfulfilled. But I tell you this, nothing has been denied to you. It has only been scheduled. The divine clock is not late. It is precise beyond all human comprehension. Every delay is protection. Every pause is preparation. Every silence is the whisper of orchestration. Breathe into this truth now. Your words are not lost. They are alive. They are turning unseen wheels, aligning unseen paths, summoning unseen provision. Your role is not to time the clock. Your role is to speak with alignment and trust the eternal schedule. So speak as the farmer plants. Speak as the conductor directs. Speak as one who knows their voice has the authority of heaven. Then, wait with grace. Let the gears move as they must. To help you walk this path, here is a practice. Every morning, stand before the silence of your room and declare, my words are gears in the divine clock. I trust the perfect unfolding. Feel the weight of worry release from your chest. Imagine before you a vast golden clock, its hands spanning galaxies, its gears glowing with eternal light. See each word you speak enter that mechanism like radiant sparks. Every spark catches, ignites, and begins to turn the wheels. Some wheels move quickly, others turn slowly, but all are in motion, and none will stop until your prayer takes form. This is how patience is born, not as passive waiting, but as active trust. Faith is the steady breath that says, "It is working, even now, it is moving. Even when I cannot see, the hand of God has not forgotten me." Speak this over yourself when doubt rises. The divine clock is already moving. My prayer is scheduled. My miracle has a timestamp. My blessing cannot miss me. And in the stillness of night, when fear tries to creep in, let your soul pray, "O divine keeper of Chimi, let my tongue stay aligned with truth. Let me resist nothing. Let me speak only words that open the gate of my destiny. Let me trust the sacred schedule of heaven." When you live this way, the tension of impatience dissolves. You no longer beg life to hurry. You no longer plead for miracles as though they are withheld. Instead, you rest in divine assurance. You speak, you align, you trust, and the clock moves unfailingly. The secret is not speed. The secret is certainty. To know that every word is eternal seed, and every seed has its harvest. Your future is not lost. It is timed. Your blessing is not wandering. It is scheduled. The divine clock responds to your words, and your words have already set it in motion. So let your speech today carry patience, carry authority, carry unwavering trust. For the next turn of the clock may be the very hour of your breakthrough. Fear has a voice, and too often, it disguises itself as logic, as reason, as practicality. It whispers through the lips before the heart even notices, saying, "I can't afford this." It sighs as defeat. "This always happens to me." It shouts in silence, "Things never work out in my favor." But every fearful phrase is not harmless. It is a command dressed in disguise. It is an instruction to the unseen world, calling delay into motion, summoning struggle to repeat itself again and again. For the universe does not argue. It simply obeys the vibration it receives. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that words are not idle, they are bridges, and when fear builds the bridge, you only cross into more of the same. Fear-driven speech constructs a cycle. What you dread, you repeat. What you affirm and panic, you extend. This is why so many live within the shadow of the same trial, the same debt, the same heartbreak. It is not destiny's cruelty. It is the echo of their own fearful confessions. But hear me now, fear is not the final authority. You have been given the law of substitution, the sacred right to replace one thought, one phrase, with another. Every fearful word can be overturned by the sword of truth. Every trembling declaration can be silenced by a stronger affirmation. The tongue that once bound you can free you. If you dare to speak differently, consider this. When the words rise within, "I can't afford this," stop and shift. Say, instead, "I walk in a universe of endless supply, and what I need comes to me on time." When the old belief murmurs, "This always happens to me," let your spirit answer, "I am no longer a prisoner of repetition. I am the exception." And divine order writes a new story for me now. When despair sighs, "Things never work out in my favor," breathe back. The universe bends for my good. What seems against me is secretly aligning to lift me higher. Do you feel the shift in power? That is the law of substitution at work. It is the exchange of shadows for light. It is the moment you refuse to let fear be the loudest voice in your temple. And once you begin this practice, fear loses its grip because it cannot remain where truth is spoken with authority. Let us take this deeper with an exercise. Bring to your mind 3 phrases you have spoken in fear. Write them down. Perhaps it is, "Money slips through my hands." Perhaps it is, "No one ever stays." Perhaps it is, "I will never catch a break." See them clearly. Do not hide from them. And now, one by one, rewrite them as living declarations of faith. Money flows into my hands and multiplies by divine law. I am surrounded by love that stays, heals, and uplifts. Breakthroughs chase me down, and doors open at my arrival. Each time you do this, you are training your subconscious to no longer kneel to fear. You are retraining your soul's compass to point toward promise instead of panic. The shift may feel small at first, like the quiet ticking of a hidden clock, but remember, every great change begins in the unseen. The universe always responds to the bold voice of faith, and if fear rises again tomorrow, let it come. Do not resist it with shame. Simply substitute. Take the dagger from its hand and turn it into a seed of truth. Every fearful word becomes fuel for a greater declaration. What once enslaved you becomes the very reminder that freedom is only one word away. So speak this with me now. I cancel every fearful word and replace it with divine truth. I no longer rehearse defeat. I proclaim victory, abundance, and divine favor. My tongue does not echo fear, it commands faith, and so it is. Carry this affirmation as a shield. Speak it when your thoughts try to betray you. Speak it when doubt comes dressed as reason. Speak it when the night feels long and your faith feels faint. Because every time you do, you weaken fear's throne and strengthen your divine authority. And know this, the moment you stop giving fear your words, it starves, it loses its power, it fades like a shadow at sunrise. For only faith deserves your voice, only truth deserves your command, only the divine deserves to echo through your temple. Now, as we move forward, let us explore how these sacred laws not only silence fear, but open the gates to a life where your words themselves become the builders of destiny. The practice of commanding wealth, health, and freedom your mouth is not an ornament, it is an instrument. Every syllable you release carries weight in the unseen. Words are not air. They are spiritual matter, arrows of light that pierce the invisible and carve reality into form. When you understand this, you will stop speaking casually and start speaking creatively. The law is simple. What you declare with conviction becomes the seed planted in the soil of the universe. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Your word is your wand, and like a wand in the hand of a magician, your tongue directs the power that shapes your world." Let us bring this law down to earth, where your needs are real, where your heart cries for breakthrough. When it comes to money, many are taught to plead, to worry, to confess lack. But pleading comes from fear, and fear only multiplies delay. You were never called to beg, you were called to command. Command is not arrogance, it is alignment. To command is to stand in the truth that abundance already exists, and you are its rightful vessel. So when lack knocks, you do not answer with despair, you answer with command. You say, "Wealth finds me in perfect ways, supply rises to meet me with ease. Money comes quickly, freely, and joyously." Each declaration sends out a current, a magnetic instruction, summoning resources that were waiting for your voice. Now turn to your body, that sacred temple where your soul resides. The body listens closely to the language you use. Say, "I'm always sick," and sickness takes root. Say, "I am whole," and wholeness awakens. Speak with command, not as though you are begging your body to heal, but as though you are reminding it of its original divine blueprint. Declare, "Every cell obeys divine order. My blood flows with life. My breath is full of spirit. My body hears and aligns with perfect health now." Relationships, too, bend beneath the sound of your words. Many repeat phrases of loneliness. "Nobody understands me. Love never works for me." These words build walls where you were meant to have bridges. Shift them with command. Say, "Divine love arranges my connections. I am surrounded by loyal souls." Every conversation becomes a channel of truth and kindness. In declaring this, you invite heaven's orchestration into the field of your relationships. Words are not only sounds, they are images in motion. See them as arrows of light. Each affirmation, shooting forward and striking its mark. Imagine your words entering the soil of life, germinating, and returning as harvest. Visualize your commands traveling beyond your room, beyond your mind, echoing in the divine orchestra where everything is already complete. This is why your speech must be deliberate, rhythmic, and bold. Listen to the difference. If you whisper, "I hope money comes," the arrow falls before it reaches its target. But when you say with unwavering tone, "Wealth finds me now, opportunities bow to me, I walk in overflow," the arrow cuts through resistance and anchors in manifestation. Practice this daily. Choose your words as a sculptor chooses tools. Do not throw phrases carelessly. Stand still, breathe, and then release declarations with authority. Use the law of substitution. Whenever fear says, "It's not working," replace it instantly with, "The unseen is working for me now." When doubt says, "This will never change," substitute it with, "Change is inevitable because my word cannot return void." Here is your exercise. Write down 3 fearful or weak phrases you have spoken about money, health, or relationships. Perhaps it is, "I can't afford it," or "I'm always tired," or "nobody cares about me." Now beside each one, craft its divine replacement. For example, I can't afford it becomes all my needs are met in divine abundance. I'm always tired becomes energy flows through me with endless supply. Nobody cares about me becomes I am deeply valued, and love surrounds me on every side. Keep this list before your eyes until your tongue learns the new rhythm. Let us seal this with an affirmation, a declaration not of hope but of command. Speak it with me now. I speak wealth, health, and love into my now. My word is power, my voice is law, and my declarations stand. Feel the energy shift as those words leave your lips. That is the moment heaven bends to listen. That is the instant reality begins to rearrange, and as you continue you will notice that the atmosphere around you changes, old patterns dissolve, unexpected doors open, even the cells in your body respond, not because you wished, not because you begged, but because you commanded. The power of your word is the key to freedom. Every time you open your mouth, you either chain yourself or liberate yourself. Choose liberation, choose creation, choose to stand as a commander in the divine orchestra. For the next step, we will move deeper into how consistency shapes the unseen, because command is not only about one moment of power, but about building a rhythm of authority that heaven cannot ignore. The inner temple of speech before words leave your lips, they dwell in silence. Before the vibration of sound touches the air, it is born in the secret chamber of your heart. This is why the mouth, powerful as it is, can only express what the inner temple has prepared. Speech without alignment is noise, but speech born from inner stillness becomes law. Every decree begins, not with language but with spirit. The ancients knew this truth, and Florence Scovel Shinn echoed it. Your word is your wand, yet the wand is powerless without the hand that holds it steady. Your heart is that hand, your intention is the grip. Imagine within you a temple, not made of stone, but of light. Its pillars are carved from peace, its ceiling is endless sky. Its floor glows like polished crystal. This is the temple of your soul, the chamber where words are consecrated before they are spoken. Each thought that rises must pass through this holy place. Each phrase must be weighed like an offering on an altar. Here lies the practice. Do not rush your speech. Breathe, enter your inner temple before you speak. Ask yourself, does this word heal or does it wound? Does this phrase bind, or does it set free? Does this declaration echo fear, or does it carry divine authority? This pause is sacred. In that stillness, you align the vibration of your words with the law of life. Close your eyes now. Breathe deeply, in and out, as though every breath polishes the floor of this temple. See yourself standing inside it. Before you is a table of light. On this table, your words are placed like sacred offerings. You do not scatter them carelessly. You choose them with reverence. Some words you release, knowing they will carry healing to every corner of your life. Others you discard, recognizing they hold no place in the divine orchestra of your destiny. Feel the shift that happens when you treat speech not as casual but as consecrated. The very atmosphere within you changes. Your words gain weight, resonance, and magnetic force. This is why careless phrases weaken your command. Words spoken in haste are like arrows without aim. They fall without reaching their target. But when your words are prepared in the inner temple, they fly like guided fire, striking exactly where you intend. The law of substitution lives here. Every time you are tempted to speak words of fear, you bring them into the temple and exchange them for words of truth. I am weak becomes strength, rises in me. It is impossible becomes the divine has already prepared the way. In this temple, every negative is transformed into light before it is released. Let this practice become a ritual. When anger rises, do not unleash it raw. Step into your temple, see the anger dissolve into clarity. And from that clarity, choose a word that liberates rather than enslaves. When doubt whispers, do not echo its voice. Instead, enter your temple and hear the higher sound. My path is guided. My timing is divine. I walk with certainty even in the unseen. Your inner temple is not distant. It is within you right now, waiting for you to return. Each time you honor it, your words grow more precise, more radiant, more creative. The heart prepares, the mouth declares, and the universe responds. Here is a practice for you. Before speaking in the outer world, take 3 breaths into your inner temple. Visualize the temple glowing within your chest. Place your chosen words on the altar. Ask, do these words align with divine truth? If they do, speak them boldly. If they do not, release them in silence. This sacred pause rewrites destinies. Now take a moment to write. A journal becomes the doorway to your temple. On a fresh page, inscribe this prompt. What words do I now release into the sacred air of my life? Let your hand move freely. Do not censor. Write words of abundance, health, reconciliation, or courage. See the ink as a stream of offerings, each phrase rising like incense into the unseen. And now let us seal this practice with an affirmation. Speak it aloud, slowly, as if you are speaking from the inner temple itself. From the temple of my soul, I speak only divine truth. From the depth of silence, my words carry power. From the altar of my heart, every phrase becomes law. Let those words settle into your being. Feel the stillness they create. Notice how the energy around you shifts when your speech is birthed from reverence instead of reaction. The temple is always open. The altar is always waiting. Each moment of your life is an opportunity to choose speech that heals, speech that liberates, speech that creates worlds. As you live in this awareness, you will find that conversations no longer drain you, arguments no longer bind you, careless chatter no longer tempts you. You will speak less, but with greater power. And when you do speak, the universe itself will bend to listen. This is the secret of sacred speech. The heart aligns, the temple prepares, the mouth declares, and reality obeys. As we move forward, we will explore how this alignment not only transforms words but reshapes your entire rhythm of living, carrying you deeper into freedom, clarity, and divine orchestration. The final key is not hidden. It has been resting on your tongue the entire time. The silent gate of destiny opens the very moment you dare to command. Breakthrough does not wait for tomorrow. It does not linger on a far horizon. It is born in the instant you speak in divine authority. When you declare with faith, the unseen rushes to obey. Your words are not mere sound. They are lightning bolts striking the invisible sky. They are divine signatures written across the field of infinite supply. Heaven does not hesitate when your voice carries the seal of conviction. It bows, it aligns, it fulfills. Think of this truth. Every miracle recorded in sacred history was triggered by a spoken word. Let there be light, and there was. The command always precedes the creation. Your life is no different. The moment you speak with unwavering faith, the energy of heaven rearranges itself to match your decree. You may have believed your breakthrough was somewhere in the future, that if you waited long enough, prayed long enough, struggled hard enough, then perhaps it would appear. But hear this truth. Struggle delays what command releases. Resistance blocks what surrender declares. Your tongue is the master key. When you use it with divine authority, the doors open at once. Do not mistake delay for denial. The law of divine timing is not passive. It responds to alignment. And alignment begins with the words you choose now. As you speak, you set your soul's compass. As you decree, you write the chart for destiny's voyage. Every syllable becomes a star guiding the unseen ship of your life toward the shore of fulfillment. So I ask you, what will you command today? Will you speak wealth as your present reality? Will you speak health as your unshakable order? Will you speak freedom as the atmosphere you live and breathe in? One command of faith is all it takes. Not many, not endless repetition, just one decree held in unwavering trust until it manifests before your eyes. Close your eyes for a moment and see it. Your words, leaving your mouth like radiant arrows of fire. See them pierce through the veil of the invisible. Watch them land on target without missing. For they cannot miss. Divine law does not falter. It is precise, it is exact, it is faithful. Declare with me now. Speak and it shall be done. Speak and heaven obeys. Speak and breakthrough stands before you. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, in this breath, in this moment, you are not waiting for release. You are the release. You are not begging for breakthrough. You are commanding it. You are not small before the universe. You are the voice through which the universe arranges itself. Say it again, until it anchors deep into your being. Speak and it shall be done. Speak and heaven obeys. Speak and breakthrough stands before you. Let the words echo through your spirit until they dissolve the last remnant of doubt. The final key is yours to use, but it requires practice. Not once, not occasionally, daily. This is not a momentary technique. This is a lifelong discipline. The discipline of aligning your speech with divine law. The discipline of refusing contradiction. The discipline of speaking life when fear would tempt you into silence. Let your morning begin with command. Let your night close with decree. Let no idle word escape your lips. Let no sentence be wasted on fear. For every phrase builds or destroys, heals or divides. opens or closes the gates of your own destiny. So walk forward today with this holy confidence. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for signs. You are not waiting for the world to catch up. The law is already written. The supply is already released. The healing is already complete. The love is already flowing. All that remains is the sound of your own voice declaring it so. And when you speak, it is done. Speak, and it shall be done. Speak, and heaven obeys. Speak, and breakthrough stands before you. Take this practice. Guard it. Live it. Let it saturate your being until it becomes second nature. Your tongue is the instrument of creation. Your decree is the seal of heaven. Your voice is the final key. Use it boldly. Use it daily. And watch your life transform before your very eyes.